Bull or bear? Rolling my 17.99 pillar dollar, Spanish pillar dollar, and it comes up a bull. So kind of looking like that might be true today. Good evening, folks. What's up? I hope you had a great weekend. Sorry I put one video out last week. I have just been so busy, man. I know, excuses. Well, check this out. Look, got a couple surfers out here. You know, small waves, but something to do. Got an SUP guy out here. But most of all, I don't know if you noticed, you got this guy. And I got to tell you, he looks like he's having the most fun out of anyone on the beach. Got his arms spread out there, catching some of the rays there in the fresh salt water. There's my position in the beach most times, although I got to admit I go out there and surf a little bit myself. A little bit too windy for me today, though. All right, well, I'm not here to talk about surf, but still 90 degrees out too, man. We got our warm weather down here, but it feels like it's getting a little cooler. Okay, today's quote of the day: markets are too complex to manipulate beneficially. That's by John Stossel. And of course, you know, that's what we talk about all the time, market manipulation. But how can you not? It's just part of the game that we play here. It's part of the materials, it's part of the commodities that we buy are manipulated. So if you're buying something and you don't know it's manipulated, then you're at the least informed group of people on the scale 1 to 10. I'm not quite sure. The most informed would be a 10, I guess. All right, well, markets are too complex to manipulate beneficially. True and untrue to some degree. You're thinking, and I'm probably thinking, let's talk about the silver market. They seem to have been manipulated beneficially for the last 4 decades or more, gold markets, and probably a lot of the other commodities markets as well. And John Stossel comment is kind of true here. You know, it's easy to say, well, not when it comes to silver, not when it comes to other things. They're just so rigged. And again, I'm going to stick to silver because it's a market we know well and we know how it's rigged. But you know, it's easy to get lost in the fact that Stossel's thought right here, too complex to manipulate beneficially, is true when it comes to silver in the long term. There's only so many decades they can manipulate this metal around before you get into what I think we currently have, which is really the mother of all bull markets, will be when there is absolutely no available metal. Now, quote. Let me preface this with available versus above ground supply. There is an incredible amount of silver on Earth, except a lot of it is in landfills, a lot of it is in private hands, a lot of it's in electronics. And when I say landfills, there is a lot of silver in landfills out there, okay? And a lot of it's being used and consumed in many different ways, including the solar industry, which is the newest, biggest user, whereas it used to be the photographic industry. But no less, at some point, and this is exactly what we have going on. I think we've got a great storm going on with silver. I really do. Like the movie The Great Storm. We've got different wave patterns coming in from different areas, from different problem areas, all converging into what could be really a dramatic moment for the price of silver. And let me kind of move over to the market here and kind of talk a little bit more about this. And the reason I believe this is, one of the things that I'm concerned about is supply. And my understanding is that 1,000-ounce silver bar supply is getting thinner and thinner. Now, a lot of you, that aren't familiar with how this works, investment supply, retail investment supply, like 100-ounce bars and 1-ounce bars and 10-ounce bars, and I know a lot of people out there that stack silver and say, man, I've got like a garage full of silver filled up. Listen, we're small players. The silver investment crowd, as far as the retail investment crowd, is a small player. Our market is very small. And that, I believe, explains a lot of why we see smaller premiums right now and silver products available in silver, not because that silver isn't rare, it isn't hard to get. It's just because I believe the retail environment has been pretty much saturated, and we are such a small segment of the silver market. All right. With that said, I'm going to do a quick refresh here. John Stossel talks about in his thing right here, to manipulate beneficially. I think at some point that they can create all the paper silver they want, but there is, unlike paper treasury markets or unlike fiat currencies where they can endlessly print it, the underlying asset in the derivatives markets for silver is what? Silver, real silver, not bullshit paper, okay? And at some point, these available silver, available for sale, available that some manufacturer can buy, a solar manufacturer, available that an ETF can buy, for example, like SLV, PSLV, in such large quantities. And again, I'm not talking about the retail investor. We're such a small part of that. And again, industry needs silver consistently, okay? When that large amount of silver available, not 1 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars, kilos, or that kind of thing, starts to become very difficult to get. That's when the tail or the dog actually starts wagging the tail, and the dog is the physical markets. The tail is the derivatives markets, and for decades, in silver especially, the tail has been wagging the dog, and that's a fact. I mean, there's no way around it. There's no legal way to address it because the CFTC, your governing authorities over that, are completely inept or they're complicit with it. All right, and I'm not going to get into that again. And what else are we got going on? So. My point is that I believe that we are in the apex right now because of, and I've talked about all these different things with silver, but because of primarily, I think there's a shortage of silver out there, most of all because of the shutdowns. In 2000, we started to see shortages in 2018 and 2019 for some reason, right before the critter kicked in, right before critter 19 kicked in, there were some silver shortages. It was getting tough to find silver even on the investment level. And I think it's been slowly happening over time. Remember, it has to be worthwhile to mine silver. You got to mine silver. But during 2020, during the Critter 19 and that period afterwards, the mining industry was basically shut down. The industry that produced silver blanks, and that's one of the big things right now. Everyone's talking about silver eagles. Why silver eagles aren't being produced. And there's, I guess a lot of these people are right in their answers, but they're missing the big picture overall, that there's a major shortage of silver out there, okay, on a large scale level. And if anybody in the investment world used a lot of silver here, especially in the U.S., it would be the U.S. Mint to produce silver eagles. They were the big sellers. Excuse me, let me get a little sip here. There's a silver shortage out there, folks. And again, for the folks out there that say, well, listen, there's plenty of silver, just go on SD, APMEX, or JM Bullion. And by the way, I can beat their prices. They got plenty of silver for sale. That's not the case, folks. We're small potatoes out there. And there are some major silver shortages in large amounts. Ted Butler talks about that. In fact, I think Vince Lancey was talking about, or did a little article in Zero Hedge about the silver eagles not being available because of lack of planchets. Is kind of what some people were talking about. But overall, I believe it's just and you can say conspiracies if you want, but they were told to shut down the production. They were told to shut down the production because we were quickly depleting the supply of silver and it was going to harm the players in the CME group market. I believe that all these things are kind of interconnected in some way, but no less, we got big problems with lack of silver out there, and I think that's why we're seeing this 23.35. I mean, I expected a full smackdown with the amount of short contracts that just jumped in there, according to Ted Butler, shorting this market, and the amount of spoofing that we've seen here day after day after day in the evening. We're still sitting at 23.34, which is 15, what is that? Hang on one second, let me do the math. 10%, we're within 10% of the $25 mark that we weren't too far off of not too long ago. Gold is off 5% off its all-time, 7% off its all-time high. Gold's doing very well. But I'm going to get into a whole nother subject here. All-time highs, 1895, and how far is that off from its all-time high? It's not much, man. Think about it. Maybe 10%, if that, 7%. I'm not going to do the math right now. But gold is really not too far off its all-time high. Silver, however, is not even close to its all-time high. Silver is sitting at, and platinum, let's not talk about, that's the poor redheaded stepchild, but I do still like platinum, don't ask me why. But silver, not even close to its all-time high, half of its all-time high, even with inflation, half of its all-time high. Gold just breaking new highs all the time. Recently, again, still near its all-time high, but silver, $50 an ounce in 1980. Gold's high was what, $700-800 an ounce in 1980, okay? Gold is more than doubled that. Silver still hasn't hit its 1980 high. Silver again hit its second high in 2011, 2012, forgive me, I'm kind of forgetting, getting old, at $49 an ounce or close to that. Almost hit its 1980 high, but or thereabouts. Got smacked down, of course, by JPM and those other companies, and again the crooks at the big commercial traders. But I don't want to talk about manipulation. We already got that out of the way. And silver's half of its all-time high of $50, which still I don't think it even hit that in 1980 50, 2011 50. So barely beat its all-time high there. Silver just not even adjusted for inflation is silver good if you think about it, even based on its all-time highs. Again, silver almost there, making all-time highs again. And let's take a look at something I think is pretty cool. One of you viewers brought this up, and you guys were talking about silver. Okay, all right. The rest of you say, what the hell's Brian doing? He's got a bottle of Hellman's mayonnaise up there. Someone told me, or someone mentioned in the video here, and I'm going to get over comments in the video from last week about the mayonnaise being about $6 a bottle. My loved one comes home and she says, "Man, I just paid $8 for a bottle of mayonnaise," and I think she likes the good stuff. But she's not wrong, man. $6 for a bottle of mayonnaise. Some people are paying $6 to $8 for a bottle of mayonnaise. Now think about this. You can buy 4 bottles of mayonnaise or 1 ounce of silver. So, which seems like, think about the inflation factor of this. I mean, this is just insane. You know what I'm saying? It takes 4 of these bottles. I mean, more or less, let's see, $6.79. All right. So yeah, 4 of these organic, if you like organic mayonnaise, 4 of these bottles to buy 1 ounce of silver. What did a bottle of mayonnaise cost back in like 1980? I'm going to go back and look. I bet you a bottle of mayonnaise in the 80s was probably what, $1, 89 cents, $1.25. I'm guessing $1.50, if that. And silver was probably what in 1980s, $50 an ounce at the high. All right, well. 4 bottles of mayonnaise or 1 ounce of silver. What do you think is a better deal? So, but there's so many different things you can think about like that. 1964, gasoline. Hey, let's just kind of type this in up here and see what happens. Gasoline per gallon in 1964. And most of you that listen to my videos know that, analogy or that comparison that I make. Let's see here, per gallon. There we go. Let me see, I probably spelled it wrong there. Come on, can't they just give it to you in the title? There we go. 17 cents. All right, well, price per barrel, 17 cents. Actually, that's not too, if you think about it. Well, back in, let's see, well, what year was that? I'm kind of curious here. As I can trust you as my God, can't they print that a little bit bigger? 1964, how much gasoline per gallon, 1964. They got to give you an inflation calendar as well. All right, so I'm not going to get my answer here without spending 2 or 3 minutes looking for it. But for example, back in 1964, you could buy a gallon of gasoline with a quarter, and today you can still not buy a gasoline. You can still buy a gallon of gasoline with that quarter, so to speak, to some degree. So silver has kept up with the commodity gasoline, but gasoline's a very highly manipulated commodity as well. I bet you we've been playing on the cheap for a long time, living on the cheap on gasoline because of CME's trading too. So maybe in some ways their crookedness has been good by providing us cheap gasoline, but it certainly has screwed us as far as the price of silver here. All right, that was a big circle jerk of a kind of thing that I went into. Let me go backwards here and see where we were actually. We're Hellman's mayonnaise. Well, anyway, I think I'd much rather have an ounce of silver than 4 bottles of Hellman mayonnaise, but it kind of shows you about inflation. And the thing, too, is when it comes to, let me move over here. When it comes to gold, gold has kept its own pretty well, if you think about it. You know, today, what is, I was looking up what an average 2023 car costs today. On the low side, it's probably $17,000, and more or less $18,000. What is that? That's 9 ounces of gold currently. So 9 ounces of gold will buy you a kind of low-end car. And I'm thinking about it, you know, it's, as far as gold goes, it's kept up with the price of cars, that's for sure. And I think actually gold has kept up with the price of inflation far better than the price of silver. Silver's been capped for such a long time. I mean, think about it, 4 bottles of mayonnaise versus 1 ounce of silver versus, 9 ounces of gold, 9 little gold coins. You can buy yourself a nice new car today. I think that gold has kept up on its own. And then if you think about it, when was gold gold was about $1,000 an ounce or less in 2008. So in 2008, you could take 9 ounces of gold and it would be worth about $9,000. And in 2008, could you buy a car for $9,000? I think you could have, but not too far, 12 or something like that, maybe something similar. But again, folks, silver just so freaking cheap. And I've said it over and over that the last a month or two, with a couple months with the price of silver being monkey hammered down like this, that I'm really amazed at the strength of silver. I was expecting to see maybe at the worst case scenario or best case scenario we'd see it in the 21s, and we're not over yet. Don't underestimate these crooks. 21s at least by now, and we haven't. I'd expected to see that gold. Well, to be honest with you, I just don't think they were going to get gold much below that 1900 level. But again, don't underestimate these crooks in the paper derivatives markets. We could see 1850. We could see $21 silver. But I thought we would have seen it a lot sooner. There's just some real strength, I think, in these metals right now that is preventing these crooks from banging it down much further. Does that mean they can't go further? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Well, I hope I've conveyed some of my thoughts about this. There's still some great deals out there, folks, as far as silver and gold. I believe that here, let me kind of move into a different screen here. We'll get out of the mayonnaise screen here and let's talk about silver coins, silver bars. Silver bars, I like silver bars, a little bit cheaper. And we'll get into images here because I like the images. Let me get a quick sip here. Okay, kind of, where was it going? Best deals, all right. The investment part of, the retail investment has really died off dramatically compared to where it was in the last couple years. The last, I'd say since 2018, 2019, silver buyers really started picking up, going crazy. And then through the COVID, I said it, through that era too, it picked up dramatically, the price of silver and the interest in silver. And today, it's backed off dramatically. It's about half of what it was in the retail sales end of it. That's why you're seeing lower premiums. But it's not because that there's no interest in silver, because we really haven't seen any capitulation or anything in silver. It's really because our world, again, I've said it a couple times here in this video, is so small. The retail investment world is so small. We're just small players in the silver market. There's been such a large amount of silver dumped in this market over the last several years in the retail end. Again, because of also the lack of participation by the U.S. Mint, who is picking up a lot of the slack that we're now seeing the bars and stuff pick up. But prices are really cheap on this stuff right now. You can get really good deals. I think the silver prices are still cheap. I think gold prices are very reasonable. But I think silver is just on the cheap, dirt cheap, you know what I mean? And the best deals out there are still 100-ounce bars, still kilo bars, still 10-ounce bars, and still 1-ounce bars. You should be able to pick up all these products for less than spot plus $3 over from your reputable dealers. Even 90%'s got somewhat reasonable. Constitutional silver, it's down to that spot plus less than $4 per ounce level, I believe, on the retail, when it was up to $6, $8, and even higher at some point. Silver Eagles have even got somewhat, I can't call reasonable when you see premiums at $5 and $6, but somewhat reasonable. Again, that is not because there's more product. That is just because the buyers have backed off. Because I believe that the retail investors in the United States, the small retail investors especially who buy this stuff, are just kind of bought out. They're bought in. They're waiting. They're not capitulated. They're just waiting for the market to run up. Again, gold, what's the best deals out there? Best deals in gold are still gold bars, I think it's spot plus 80, but you can't beat gold maple leafs and Philharmonics and Krugerrands at spot plus $90 to $100. And if you're paying more than that, it's probably too much. Eagles are around spot plus 123. Now, don't forget, folks, I'm talking about in smaller quantities. Let's talk gold coins. Let's type that in and see what the visual looks like. And there, oh man, there's me treasure. Okay, there we go. Where's me gold? There it is. Numismatic stuff, but there's gold eagles. There's, I think gold eagles are like, again, 123. You shouldn't be paying more than that. But premiums are very reasonable on gold as well, and they have been for quite some time. They dropped dramatically. Gold premiums dropped dramatically way before silver premiums did. But again, will it stay that way? I don't think so. I think when this market just starts to fire back the other way, and once we start surpassing that $25 mark, 26, 27, and once we get past 30, all bets are off. That premiums will rise because there is a lack of silver out there, and it'll dry up really quickly. And those premiums will rise dramatically as well. All right, let me talk about comments from last week's video. Let's go into that. Don't get dizzy there, folks. And man, that was one video last week. I'm getting pretty lame on this. Sorry about that, man. But I just, like I said, I wish I could make two of me. I would love to have one guy that could just sit by a relaxing place and think of content and do some things and do great videos. But man, I just whip these things out when I get a chance now. I did it before, but it's even worse now. So, I know some of you smart asses are going to say, and it shows. So, sorry, DXY is worth more than gold right now. They're down 8 of 10 days, while DXY tops 103 and moving higher. Let's see, what is the reply here? And what is DXY? It merely gauges the measure of the other fiat terms, not a measure of consumer buying power. You know, kind of my opinion, but you know, it is true. The DXY is worth more than gold and silver, and they're down 8 of 10 days, while the DXY is moving 100. But the dollar index is kind of significant, insignificant. And I don't know how to explain this. Oh boy, someone here accused me of doing these videos for clicks. Oh, yeah, I make money. I got to tell you, I think my YouTube, Marcelo, I don't know if he likes me mentioning his name, the guy that does, edits my videos, doesn't do shit really. I'm just joking. He does the backs and the fronts, but I think he does, like the old videos, he'll put them on for YouTube monetization. I think we make about $9 on a good month. So yeah, dude, I really do it for the clicks, man. So, I like this. It's public service, and actually I wanted to be a disc jockey when I was a kid. And you think that's a lie. It's true, actually, I did. Isn't it funny how these things work out? Silver price has I did a TV show as well. God, now I'm going to start talking about myself. Yeah, when I was a kid. But I did a TV show, a Comcast TV show here in South Florida. That was very popular for a while. Silver price has a close relationship to the dollar index. When the dollar index goes, silver goes down. There does seem to be a lot of correlations in different things, but you really, and when the silver hit its high, $40 index was a low in the 60s. Today, the dollar index at 103 and rising. Yeah, but you know what? There is evidence of that, but there's evidence that says just the opposite as well. I can't get into that. It's kind of like showing correlations. You know, there was a time when they used to say that gold and oil prices were kind of tied together. They probably are still. So I got to be careful not sticking my foot in my mouth. But silver is just a highly manipulated metal that's been way too cheap for a long time, and that we're about to see the results of that manipulation by lack of silver. But thanks for the comment there. I really appreciate it, and respect your opinion as well. Hot-headed Joel. I don't believe silver's cheap. It's just that they want it to be. Yeah, that's true, man. Forced to sell your metals for CB. I will not accept CBDCs. I will eat my neighbors before I have to accept those and use that for food. Exactly what no one wants to do. That is their plan. Oops, sorry, I let my plan slip. Better not hope I move near any of you guys. Anyways. Anyways, that's my drinking phrase of the day, or my drinking word of the day. Anyways, every time you hear me say that, take a shot. The dollar is crap. Selling your gold and silver in exchange for mediums. Yeah, well, that's it. The point is that that's a medium that we have to use, and the nice thing is that hopefully at some point that we'll be able to sell one of our silver ounces for 50 or more U.S. fiat dollars, maybe 100. Maybe 150. Boy, here I go. All right, let me not get too enthusiastic here. Our Mark Gottschall, I met Harry when I was 8 years old. We toured as president, so that is cool. His home was close to Harry Truman, who was the quote I did earlier with a big blacked out call. My dad encouraged me to talk to him, so I did. That is just so awesome, Mark Gottschall. Thanks for sharing that story. Celtic Knot, what's up, dude? Hope to see it in the next Lakeland. And man, you are always right, dude. Come on. I can't argue with that. Last week, I almost went down to see there, and I remember that you went to Cocoa Beach. I ended up going to Virginia Beach, had a good time. Love to visit Virginia Beach sometime. In fact, the guys that ran the Cocoa Beach event that I went to, the surfing contest that I went to Cocoa Beach, they run them up in Virginia Beach too, and they live up there, a couple South African friends of mine. Janet Yellen said, yep, there needs to be more bank consolidations, meaning more bank failures. Yeah, I know. Following CPM group, thank you, living the dream. Jeff Keller says, way cool music video. Yeah, that was pretty heavy video as well. Good for you. If you bought it on the cheap, that's a good deal. Oliver Anthony, that was a song. Rich Man, North of Richmond. Yeah, very, definitely very powerful song for sure, Virgin Stacker. That's why I played it on this video right here that you'll see up here that I'm answering your response. There it is. There's my video. Oh, man, I hope I didn't lose you. There we go. Silver and gold lost 15% in 2 weeks. Yeah, but no, hold on. 2 weeks, 10%, 25 would be 25% now would be 2250. Yeah, a little bit more, not much, 10% maybe, 15% on a. I don't think it was 15, 20. I mean 10%. I think silver lost a maximum of 10%. Yeah, and gold went red again, but don't worry about it. It's back up again by the time we've done this video a week later. I don't worry about this stuff, man. Buy the dips if you can. Joe McDonald says, when I see my business, 9% people don't see what's coming with, yeah, I know, I get it, Joe. What am I going to do about it? I'm just going to refuse to accept it. I hope a majority of us do. That's the only thing that'll win that battle. Near Dust says, you live in Ventura, California. I was going to retire out there. What a beautiful place. I love Ventura, Santa Barbara. And other parts of California are just as beautiful as well. But, man, just the taxes and the political cuckoos you have out there, man. I just couldn't do it. Mostly the taxes and the price of real estate just went insane in California. And then I started thinking, wow. But you know what? It's getting like that here in South Florida as well. It's getting pretty bad. Thanks, Near Dusk. I hope to visit out there sometime soon. You guys get great waves too. Michael Matthews says, on a side note, great video, gave me chills. The words are very powerful. Yeah, me too, man. Happy to see that video. Yep. 12 million views, and probably even more now. Dude got like an offer for $8 million to go for a record company, and he refused it. Good for him. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's not good advice. I take that back. I don't know, really. I don't know. Sometimes your principles versus being ready to retire for the rest of your life versus working a factory and trying to make your money on music online. Maybe I would have taken the $8 million. I know. Don't give me any shit. Gold Standard, are you ready? Bricks, I don't think it's going to make that big of a deal right off the bat. I do believe it's going to make a big deal, but I think it's going to be like a slow inundation, a slow effect on us, and that we will see the effect at some point, and it'll be major, but I don't think it's going to be overnight. I don't think it's going to be quick, just like everything else. It just takes, things are so big that it takes time for things to roll, you know what I mean? Yeah, true for sure, Mars Maz. And I don't believe 17.6 at all. I don't believe silver $20 at all. And then 20, but no, man, I think we're about right at our level. Yeah, that's true, Christina. Man, he needs the $6. Silver is down $3. It's just, yeah, I know, Tommy Boy. And actually, you got me thinking about that a little bit, but my girlfriend was a catalyst when she came in and said she paid $8 for a bottle of mayonnaise. So yeah, you can take credit for this video a little bit, and my girlfriend always takes credit for my videos, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be healthy enough to do these things. She feeds me great. Hey, Tones Breakdown 7995. Hello, Uncle Brian. Oh, sorry for my saving so long. Been doing great work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Excellent song, and I'm glad you guys heard it down there. Man, you guys get good waves down there. Beautiful country. I hope to visit someday. I really do. Well, that's it, folks. If you like to like my videos, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and the thumbs up button if you really like this video, but it doesn't matter either way. I just appreciate you even took a couple seconds to watch it. Hey, if you don't find me on this particular forum, you can find me on this forum. And if you don't find me in that other forum, it's because I probably said something that the other forum didn't like. So that's why I'm on this forum right now. And well, that's why I back up everything there as well, just in case that you like my stuff enough that you would actually go find me there. But I don't find that the case sometimes. It seems like once you're off that one particular forum, man, people just forget you exist. But you can also find me here, one of the free speech forums. I do like Elon Musk. I know I said it, but for this reason only, free speech. And you can catch me out here. This is there's my profile. I got to put a picture up here at some point and something in the background. I stopped being lazy. But you can ask me questions out here. I also post my videos out here as well. And you can see who I like to watch and who I like to follow and all that good stuff as well. Well, that's it, folks. Don't forget, think for yourself, question authority, and most of all, question yourself first, because it's hard to question other people if you ain't got the truth right yourself. And again, most of all, think for yourself. That's the most important thing. That's it. This is Brian Kuzma with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. If you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum in any amounts from $1 to millions of dollars worth, and you live in South Florida, visit our brick and mortar. We don't have a website, I know, but I don't want one either. It's not my gig. And you can, we'll beat APMEX. We'll beat the guys online. APMEX, SD, JM Bullion for your popular price products. We'll beat the local guys as well. And give good advice, and a smiley face goes along with it. So, excuse me. And if you don't live in South Florida, you can't visit my brick and mortar store. And if you're buying a reasonable amount of quantity of gold, silver, and platinum, we still do the business the old-fashioned way, not through the website, but through wires and phone calls and other types of introductions. So don't hesitate to give us a call at this number between 10 and 4 Mondays through Fridays. But most of all, if you don't live in our area and you can't visit our brick and mortar, hey, I'm going to say it. I used to say it all the time. Try to find yourself a good local deal that'll give you good prices. And beat APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion. That's where I'd start first. And if you find someone that does, stick with them. That's it, folks. Have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.